All right, good morning. We are so excited to have you here today with us at the Dairy Summit. So it's really been an action-packed 5 years, and we're really just scratching at the surface of the innovations that the Dairy Innovation Hub is going to produce for the state and people in the state. So more than 230 funded projects are underway at more than 55 different farms, other locations in Wisconsin, across 3 Universities of Wisconsin campuses. The Dairy Summit today is our public-focused event of our annual 2 events, and this rotates at different campuses. But the very first summit was here in Madison during the pandemic, so it was all virtual. So we're super excited to have people here in Madison. This is truly a collaborative effort between 3 campuses, the University of Wisconsin, Madison, Platteville, and River Falls. And to that end, you'll meet leaders, faculty, and students from each of those institutions here today, networking with each other as well as presenting their research. Now more than ever, we need big ideas to solve big problems and big challenges that are faced by dairy farmers, food producers, our rural communities, our health, and our natural resources. Today's presentations are going to touch on these areas and more, and how we're working to create solutions. Earlier this week, I had the chance to see how Wisconsin dairy businesses are innovating and leading the industry on a visit to 2 Wisconsin dairy businesses with our chancellor, Jennifer Mnookin, who's also here to welcome you today. But right now, it's my honor to welcome our governor, Tony Evers. Thank you for joining us today, Governor.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks, Dean Gillaspy. And it's a pleasure to be here for the 5th Annual Dairy Summit. First, I want to thank the Dairy Innovation Hub for bringing all these great people together again this year. And whether your work is to fund critical research projects or bringing new talent to our state, or train students to be the future leaders that we need in dairy, it's been exceptional for me to watch this hub grow and develop over the years, and it's great to see the achievements on display that we have here also. I also want to thank all the university leaders, students, and staff represented for your ongoing commitment to supporting the success of the Dairy Innovation Hub, as well as advancing critical research and opportunities about the future of the dairy industry in Wisconsin. And finally, to all our exceptional statewide dairy and ag partners, thank you for your continued collaboration, partnership, and commitment. So on Monday this week, you may have seen it, I was excited to join DATCAP in the University of Wisconsin Agriculture and Applied Economics Department to announce Wisconsin's agriculture in general, to a $116 billion industry, $116 billion, that's with a B. And of that, 48.5 is from dairy. Folks, whether it's sliced or cubed or shredded or curds, here in Wisconsin, we're proud to be the top cheese-producing state in the nation and to churn out some of the best dang dairy you can find any place in the world. And I bet you don't know this, long before I became governor, and this is a long time ago, my first job was working in a cheese plant in my hometown of Plymouth, which, by the way, is the cheese capital of the world. How about that? And on top of that, my job was to scrape mold off of cheese, which, thanks to innovative dairy research, isn't even a job anymore. I just had to throw that in there. As governor, I've supported the dairy industry over the past 5 years by directing $100 million during the pandemic to support Wisconsin farmers in all 72 counties through Wisconsin's Farm Support Program. And we've increased funding for our state's tremendous dairy processor grant program. And I've signed legislation in support of initiatives to promote Wisconsin's dairy export program. And I know you wanted to say yes. So say hell yes. And together, we have bolstered the long-term viability of the dairy industry by investing in programs like the Dairy Innovation Hub. Folks, it's thanks to the innovative work of programs like this that the Dairy Innovation Hub, we've seen our state's dairy industry, most especially our exports, thrive in recent years. According to the Wisconsin Initiative for Agricultural Exports, we are currently 11th in the nation in agricultural exports in the state, up by our previous spot as the 13th in 2021. And when it comes to dairy, in 2021, the state's exports of dairy products have grown by nearly $200 million. That's a growth of 43%. Folks, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, our state's dairy industry is a proud part of our past, and it's a critical part of our present, and as is evident by the numbers, it continues to be successful, and that is really important to the strength of our entire state. So to connect the dots, Wisconsin has made sure farmers have the support and resources they need to deal with the stress and other obstacles they may face through our farmer mental health program. And we've also worked to ensure agricultural communities have strong roads and infrastructure so that they can get their product and animals safely from point A to point B. So together, I know we can build upon the progress we have made to ensure this industry continues to grow and succeed for future generations. That's what this hub is all about. So thank you for inviting me, and now with that, it's my pleasure to introduce the Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Chancellor Mnookin. All yours.
Thank you so much, Governor Evers, and thank you for everything you've done for the dairy industry. Let's give our governor another round of applause. I also very much want to thank Dean Gillaspy and the Dairy Innovation Hub for hosting this amazing event, and I want to thank all of you for being here. There's a longtime food technologist here at UW-Madison who will sometimes say to his audiences at cheese tastings, "This cheese will change your life." That's the power of dairy. There's some truth to that. I've certainly had life-changing cheeses, and I bet some of you have as well. In fact, one of the perks of my job is sometimes the opportunity to travel around our great state, sampling some pretty fabulous dairy products, some of really the best dairy products in the world, and seeing the folks who are making those, whether that's the fresh fried cheese curds at the Ellsworth Cooperative Creamery, or Odyssey yogurt at Klondike Cheese in Monroe, or just this past week, I got to taste some amazing sheep milk cheeses at Hidden Springs Creamery in Westby. But one of the best things of all is getting to see the impact of the Dairy Innovation Hub. In fact, one of my very first trips when I had just started, and so had she, was with Dean Gillaspy, as well as Senator Howard Markline, who was one of the champions of the Dairy Innovation Hub, and we went to UW-Platteville's Pioneer Farm. And we got to see cows, and I didn't grow up on a farm, so I got to touch the cows, and I did that. But I also got to see the robotic milkers, and that was really cool to see. And it was just a great experience, seeing some of the power of collaboration and partnership and innovation that the Dairy Innovation Hub is providing. It's truly just a wonderful bipartisan initiative, and that's something that I think we can all celebrate. I also want to thank Secretary Randy Romansky for his partnership and for being here today. Let's give him a round of applause. And I want to thank the members of the state legislature who have worked closely with us to make the Dairy Innovation Hub possible. I know here in the room with us, I did see Representative Travis Tranel. Where are you here? There you are, right in front of me. Are there any other state legislators in the room? I know there may be some more on Zoom as well, but I'm not sure anybody else is with us today, but we really appreciate the bipartisan support for this. Who do we have in the room who's a partner from industry or key associations? Give us a wave so we can recognize you. Thank you for being here. How about farmers, producers, or other folks from the dairy industry? Give a wave. Excellent. Thank you for being here and for your partnership. Any other state or local policymakers who are with us in the room? Give a wave. Well, they should be here, right? And how about campus leaders, faculty, staff, and students from any of UW-Madison, UW-River Falls, or UW-Platteville? Raise your hands. Excellent. Look at all of you in the room. Thank you for being part of this really amazing collaboration. The point here, the point of all of this, is to work to ensure that Wisconsin will continue to be the place for dairy innovation and discovery. We want to be a model for the nation and the world in terms of stewardship of land and water, helping farm businesses and farm communities to thrive, identifying new ways to use dairy, even in emerging therapeutics to benefit human health, as well as ways to eat and consume. It's really hard to imagine any better example of the Wisconsin idea in action. And it's pretty amazing to see what's been accomplished in 5 years. More than 230 research projects across the 3 partner campuses. Outstanding faculty hired from across the country who are supercharging our research and education and deepening our work on behalf of the entire state. And millions of dollars of grant funding brought into Wisconsin. I'll tell you just briefly about one research collaboration funded by the Dairy Hub. As many of you no doubt know, a good chunk of the world's population, probably roughly about half, is lactose intolerant to some degree. And so there's a growing demand for lactose-free dairy products that are both affordable and delicious. And we're getting there. But with some food groups like ice cream, we're making progress, but there's still work to be done. And so Grace Lewis at UW-River Falls teamed up with Chuck Nicholson and Scott Rankin here at UW-Madison to test different processing conditions, to try to find easier and more cost-effective ways to produce a tastier lactose-free ice cream, so that more companies can afford to get into this space and to expand the limited and sometimes pricey opportunities for consumers. The team produced 275 half gallons of lactose-free ice cream during the testing process. And it's your lucky day. You're going to get to taste test one of those products today. A new flavor, I think there's little placards on your tables. It's called Dairy Grateful, and it's made specially for this summit. It sounds pretty delicious. Pumpkins and white chocolate chips. What could be better and what could be more seasonal? Grace, Scott, Chuck, and anyone else who worked on this project, where are you? So we can recognize you. I think we're all looking forward to trying it. You're going to hear more from Grace Lewis later today, and you're going to learn more about the extraordinary work of the Dairy Innovation Hub and have the opportunity to tour some of our research facilities. So I just want to close by thanking you again for being here today, for working with and being part of the Dairy Innovation Hub to help ensure that the greatest dairy industry in the country will grow, will innovate, will thrive, and will do even more to bring great dairy to this state and beyond. So thank you again, and with that, I will hand it back to Dean Glenda Gillaspy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chancellor Mnookin, and thanks for joining us today. And, you know, where else are you going to come to a meeting and get such great ice cream? That's what I love about UW-Madison. And so I have one remaining job, and that's to remind those of you who signed up for a tour that we are going to tour some research facilities. And some of you, about half of you, will go to our Arlington Research Station, which is one of 8 locations in the state off of campus where we do a lot of dairy research. And if you haven't signed up for a tour and you still want to go, I think there could be a way to do that. Please see myself or Maria, and we'll get you set up. So we want to get on with our first session, and here to moderate is Professor Troy Runge. He's the Associate Dean for Research Extension in CALS and a Professor of Biological Systems Engineering. Troy was also a member of the inaugural steering committee for the Dairy Innovation Hub here at UW-Madison. Let's welcome Troy Runge.